they made the movie and they participated because they felt that they are the last to tell. Because if we don't tell it,
then there's no way.
There'll be no way. The importance of memory, and you can pass on memory to another generation.
Yeah, I was just reading an article actually about how the people are denying it, and once this generation that remembers the Holocaust is gone, the deniers have no proof. So
there's none. Yeah. Right. Anyway, let me just try to get through, and you watch the time, all right? We tried to leave Vienna as soon as possible because it was very dangerous for the Jews. We wanted to go to America to my uncle, who was a dentist there, and who promised he would help us because he would not take more than $30 with us. I mean, even that was
a lot,
and unlike now, when you hear about people illegal immigration or legal immigration, people, if they can't get a job, they go to welfare and so on and so on. In those days, I had it with me, but I don't think I brought it. You had to know somebody in America, a relative or friend, who would guarantee that not only that they would vouch for you, but that you would never become a burden to the government of the United States. And in 1938, when we came, it wasn't that easy. It was right after the Depression in America, when even American people had trouble finding jobs. My father not speaking English, and whatever. It was very difficult. But my uncle had to promise. So, with everything gone, we discovered it wasn't so easy to go to America. Now, this is the thing that's really I love America. I'm a great patriot, but at that time they had the quota system. Do you know what that is?
Isn't it like
to limit immigration?
Yeah. The quota system is when America allowed only a certain number of people from each country to come, at a time. So my parents, as I said, they lived in Poland before they got married. They were on the Polish quota, and I have letters. This must be one of them, but I can't see it. What is? No. These are my sister's. Could you turn it a little bit? In the Anlag, the Ingemenschlich, no, this is not it. All right, but I have it someplace else. But they told us, this shows recently, in probably 1998, they published on the internet people who had bank accounts. And my father's name and my uncle's name are here, bank accounts that we had to leave.
Yeah.
They were looted, so they got an answer. It's too hard to read here. That they're not responsible. All that money's gone.
Okay.
So anyway,
is this the quota?
So did the government take that money, or?
Huh?
Did the government take the money from
the Germans? The Germans took the money. Now it's not the it's a regime. But my parents were born in Poland, and the Polish quota. They said my parents would have to wait a year and a half to come to America. But the children who were born in Vienna, we could go immediately to my aunt and uncle in America. Okay. Well, my parents didn't want to be separated, so if you had money, you could go. My parents didn't want to be separated from the children. You could buy a visa. A visa is not a credit card, but a permission to go to Shanghai in China. And there was a lot of German and Austrian Jews wound up in China. There was a big ghetto in China for many years during the war, or to Johannesburg
in
South Africa. But I was going to have to pass the letters from the consulate. I don't know if I have it, but I want to shorten this anyway. Okay. It was difficult to go to any other country because the Jewish passports were all stamped with a red J, identifying us as Jews. Later, the passports also had Sarah in Israel, which is what I told you before. But at the last minute, my father got the visas to Johannesburg and you'll probably see the visa to Shanghai. This is the passport. No, I don't know if you have the visa here, but I brought it. This is my brother. I have to tell you this story. This is a good story. But I'll have to show you I have the Chinese visa to Shanghai somewhere. I thought it was in the slides.
Yeah.
Anyway, so at the last minute, my father was able to bribe a clerk at the American consulate, and he put the children's papers and their papers together. We were able to come to this country. Yeah. We arrived in America at the end of October 1938. No money, not knowing the language. It was very difficult. I started school, and even though I was 10 years old, because I did know English, I was put into a second grade class with 7-year-old children. I cried every day. I missed my friends and teachers from Vienna. In a short time, I learned English and was put into the proper grade. I was an excellent student. I went to university, graduated by January 1949 when I became a teacher. My father got a job, worked very hard, and made sure that all children got a university education. My brother, well, we don't have to do this. My brother became an artist. My sister became a teacher, as did I. I married a doctor. He was in Dachau for 4 years. And this I have to tell you. My husband, this is my husband, he and this brother, he was one of 9 siblings. And he and this brother were in a concentration camp in Dachau, Germany, together. And then after the war, my husband became he was a doctor before the war.
And
he became a doctor in a DP camp. I have 2 stories to tell you about this.
Okay.
And this brother, before the war, had gone to Israel and then came to the United States. And when the war broke out, he was drafted into the American Army. And these two, my husband and his brother, were in concentration camp in Dachau. When the Americans and the Allies liberated Germany, and the American soldier went to his commanding officer and said, "Look, I had 9 siblings. I'm one of 9, children, and I don't know if they're alive or they're dead, So the commanding officer of the American Army gave him a jeep and another soldier to go with him, and he drove from one concentration camp to the other,
Trying to find his
and he found
Those
his 2 brothers alive. And there was an article in the Daily News that American soldier finds 2 brothers alive in Germany. So this was an interesting camp.
Yeah.
Now, after the war, there were a lot, oddly enough, even though people didn't know, what happened to their families and where they would go or anything, people, they went to the DP camps because they had no place. DP stands for displaced person. They had no place to go. And my husband, being a doctor, even though the people who survived, didn't know where they're going to go, or where their families are, or if they have anybody anymore. But all of a sudden, there were a lot of weddings, and a lot of babies were born. And my husband died 26 years ago. Just about a year after he died, I got a call from a man, and he said, "Can I speak to Dr. Paretsky?" His name was Paretsky, not Perry. He changed his name in this country. "Can I speak to Dr. Paretsky?" He said, "What is this in reference to?" He says, "My name is Dr. Abraham Peck. I'm head of the Department of Judaica of Hebrew Union College in Cincinnati, Ohio. And I'm now writing a book about the DP camps in Germany. And your husband is, talking about himself. He says, I was the first baby born in DP Camp Landsberg, Landsberg was the city that it was in. And your husband delivered me, and I was considered, since he was the first baby to be born, he was considered the symbol of hope. There you come with the hope.
Yeah.
And now he was writing. He's well known. He's an author and he's a professor at Hebrew Union College. Now, have we still got time? Then I can just go into some more things.
Yeah, I just have 2 questions to ask you if you want to. Do you want me to key them now?
No, I just want to read you one thing.
Okay.
I know.
Don't worry, not the shit.
Remember when I showed you my mother's family, and I said my cousin who was killed with the baby, and her husband survived? Well, he survived, and after the war, none of these people who did survive knew if they had family, where to meet them, whatever. So they would put ads, like in the people in those days, like my parents, whatever, used to read the Yiddish newspaper. And they would put people from concentration camps who survived, put ads in. I'm looking for them. My name is what, so-and-so.
I'm searching for these people. I'm searching for these people.
Yeah, right. So my parents recognized the name, because that was my cousin's last name. So they wrote to this person, and he wasn't sure. So this is a translation. But it gives you a little bit of an insight. And I told you his wife and baby were killed.
Yeah.
Okay? He said, "Dear family Bickle," that was my family. They wrote to my parents. "I received your dear letter only 2 days ago. In the meantime, I changed my address and the letter wandered around for 6 months. I am really the person you're looking for. I would have written a long time ago, but I didn't have your address. I have purposeless," it's a translation from what he wrote, "a lot to write. I'm the only person from our family that remained alive. The family of my dear Adela," that was my cousin, was left no one. Only Bronick, that's the guy that went to medical school, that was his brother-in-law. That was his...
Yeah.
Only Bronick, now they call him whatever, was in September 1945 in Bitom, and after I changed address, I have lost contact. I write several letters and didn't receive an answer. Possibly he is already out of the country. His last address is the woman's name we didn't know. Ludwika Polachin was her name. The woman that he lived with that saved his life.
Oh yeah, you told us.
The one that he married?
He says, "I'm the only person that can recount about the..." See, it's awkward because I translated.
Yeah,
they can recount about the destruction of our family because I was together with them till the last moment. The fact that I'm alive is a coincidence. Once among a million people. My dear in-laws, Leib Gladstein, that was my mother's brother, his wife and son were killed during the liquidation, Aktion in Strie, on the 6th of June, 1943. That's when they were in the synagogue writing with their blood. My family, that means my wife Adela and my child Anitka, were killed 12th of June 1943 in Drohobych. That's another city in Poland. I live only by accident with all that happened. I think it would have been better for me to die 10 times and would have been better not to experience all of this. I cannot describe now everything that it would take 30 pages of writing. I must be satisfied with draconian ideas. Then they wrote something I couldn't translate. Now he says, what pertains to my requirements in the present, I assure you that I require absolutely no support. I work as a journalist and I even earn enough. I have obtained a foreign passport to leave and will go to Paris in the month of April. From there, I would like to go to America. If you could help in this matter, I would be very thankful. I have a lot of material and would write there in the Jewish newspapers and publish books, which he has. And his books are in the Leo Beck Institute. It's part of the, do you know the Jewish Center of History on 16th Street? There's a Leo Beck Institute that has all the artifacts and writings. He has a lot of his books. His last name is Hirschhout.
Okay.
This letter will be mailed from Sweden. A friend is going there and will take the letter. In response, because the mail was very bad. In response, write to me at my address in Lodz where I now live, blah, blah, blah. All right. Now, I have other things, but if you want to stop and ask
because we just
questions,
have
we could do
a couple
that.
minutes left, like 15 minutes left. So there's